Hello. We are here with
Crystal Gonzalez.
who?
Crystal Gonzalez.
Crystal Gonzalez. What does Crystal Gonzalez do?
I am an independent animator and cartoonist. I do a comic book called In the Dark. I also do cartoons of a character called Schizo in the 1920s Killer Bear.
A what?
The 1920s Killer Bear.
Polar bear?
No, Killer Bear.
Killer bear? Not Sonic.
No, but I have done Sonic cartoons in the past.
We don't want her to know. So, is that what started you out in comics and animation? Was the Sonic animations?
Not necessarily. I've been drawing and animating my own cartoons and my own characters since I was a kid and high school. But I'm a big fan. And
is this your character from high school?
It is actually. Yes, I started in the dark in high school. So this is the main character. His name is Fibble, and this is a little demon named Sin.
So it's kind of like Invader Zim's guy, the Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. He did that originally as in his high school doodles.
Oh, okay.
And Zim was created later, but he wasn't part. But he's the Johan Vasquez. His stuff was like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and one other series, and the sub characters of those series became Invader Zim's sub characters.
Well,
and they were
Dark
all
is based on basically my studies in philosophy. I have a master's degree in fine arts, and a lot of this initially Fibble and Sin were in high school. I used to do a little high school comic, 3 panels, gag comics, usually just like jokes. But
excuse me, the guy who did who was here the last time they had a Latino con, the creator of the Homies, his characters were the same way.
The characters themselves, though, I wanted to expand upon. And once I started going to college and learning, I basically have a minor in philosophy. There is a theory out there that there are concepts basically, that we think about as universals. An idea of universals would be like love. People think that love exists and love has a definition, but nothing that we can agree on as a definition, right?
The constructs, as they're saying right now,
exactly.
They're using the
So
term.
That's a universal. Like we all believe it's there and we know it to be real, but we have no definite definition of what it is, right? In the Dark is my theory on the universals of the word sin. So this character right here is the embodiment of sin. He is supposed to be evil, chaotic, the darkness of everything in the universe. The characters that Fibble ends up encountering in the comic book are those sin creatures. But what I've done is they're creatures of my own design, and they have a lot more of a social commentary-like element to them. Basically, they're personified of words, right? Words that we consider to be transgressions or chaotic or whatnot, embodied into these creatures that have now they've basically altered themselves in order to stay relevant in society. So,
Like the Greek gods in Marvel Comics.
I wouldn't know. I don't have any knowledge of that. Sorry, guys. So the first character he ends up meeting is Gluttony, the name of this gigantic demon pig who has 1 million worms in his stomach, and he's addicted to Starbucks coffee. He loves coffee. That's how kind of Fibble gets stuck into this whole situation. He goes out to get a cup of coffee, and Gluttony, the giant pig, swallows the entire coffee shop and ends up dragging him down into this underworld. The kind of kind of side story, or maybe larger story to all of this, is that he has been cursed with sin, this creature, right? This embodiment of evil. Of course, Sin is not really as strong as he used to be. He used to be massive. He was as big as the universe. He fought God. Lost during the Big Bang. There's a whole bunch of backstory to this, obviously, in the comic books. But one of the little teeny details in their contract is that Sin has to take care of him, protect him. Now he's stuck in hell, and he's in this underworld. He cannot die. The tiny little details is if he dies, Sin dies with him. And thus, we would be creating a utopian universe, and we can't have that. So that's why technically he has to go save him. He's not like his best friend or anything. He hates the guy, honestly. But for his own self-preservation.
But the funny part is, That's a concept that made all good buddy cop films or buddy films great. The two characters hated each other. And until the end of the film, when they learned either to respect each other or like each other, that was the end of their journey.
I'm sorry.
No, but you know, if you watch enough of those buddy cop films, that was a lot of the thinking of it.
I wouldn't call them buddy cop films, but to each his own.
But like, 48 Hours is a good example of that.
Never saw it.
Oh, you should. You'd enjoy it. Because it's the same premise. You got a crook and a cop, and the cop hates the crook. But he needs him to capture the serial killers. Because they both had the same agenda. They both one wants to catch the crooks, one was screwed over by the crooks. And it's one of Eddie Murphy's better roles than Nick Nolte. You're going, well, you,
I'm eating my
So do you
hero.
want, so do you want me to continue
Yeah.
on with the comic, or
yeah, go for it.
what else would you like to know?
Why did you chose this style? The kind of the indie style.
Well, this style has been pretty much a style that I've been drawing for many, many a year. My biggest influences were Tales from the Crypt, creepy, eerie, very dark black and white, lots of cross-hatching kind of comics. So those were my bread and butter. I loved those comics.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's pretty much where a lot of the black and white kind of style aesthetic
Never
comes
read much
from.
creepy and eerie, but I've read the Marvel and DC versions of that type of stuff. You know, House of Mystery and Tales from Outer Space, weird.
I haven't seen those myself, so I wouldn't know necessarily how much of a style similarity they are. But I do know that, like, for instance, that kind of dark horror genre was, you know, a big influence, especially because I just have a twisted sense of humor, and that's where I kind of gravitated to when I was reading those type of comics.
Well, those were fun. Like I said, I've read comics in that genre, and it's like they were Twilight Zone-ish, Rod Sterling-esque. Some of them. You had a story, and then the person had to pay something for what he did bad, or survive because he found a way out by redeeming himself.
I like more of the, like I said, Tales from the Crypt, creepy and eerie kind of endings, because they don't end nice.
No.
They end horrible.
A lot of Rod Sterling's were that way too.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone, you ever see that?
Yeah, like Twilight Zones. Twilight Zones are cool. Like, I like that because it never gives you a happy little ending package. It's more of like, whoa, what happened? You know, this
Yeah.
is absolutely terrifying. You know, even though they thought they, you know, oh, I did it, I survived or whatever. Not the case. You know, Twilight Zone.
A good example of what you're saying is the Twilight Zone episode where they're in a diner, and you find out that one alien race destroyed another alien race, and the alien race that thought he won, you find out is the bartender. Oh, is it?
I don't know this story. So I don't know this show.
It's okay, I'm saving.
Okay.
She's always that way. All she can tell me is Disney stuff. Well, she may buy robots.
You're welcome.
One of these movies about goofy robots.
It has Williams.
Robin Williams.
Yeah,
The one with the red robot, the blue robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that cartoon. Yeah.
that's a movie I made him buy.
I just wanted Wally.
Those are two different studios.
Yeah, Disney and DreamWorks.
I think it was Blue Sky Studios, but, you know.
But yeah, so when you did the Sonic stories, what made you do that?
Well, I'm just a fan of Sonic. I definitely have played the video games, all the video games.
Did you beat them?
Yes.
Those are hard to beat.
They're pretty fun. They're very
She
good.
hates them.
Oh, I think they're really great. They're really super fun. But no, I mean, definitely, I played the Genesis games, and then I played, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Love them all. So, big fan. And it ended up. I found like online a community of fans who also felt the same way, and they were animators as well, Sonic Paradox. And that's kind of how I got started in that. It was just like, man, these guys are awesome, and they love Sonic, and I love drawing Sonic. I want to do that too. So it was a nice little fun thing to do on the side too as a fan.
So at that time, did you want to be a Sonic animator? You just did it just for fun then?
Yes.
Because usually people will do that kind of stuff because they have ambition to get into Sega or do Sonic games.
I
But yeah. So, what do you think of the convention today?
The convention today was awesome, and I think it's going to be even better and bigger tomorrow. We have what is it? The Lowriders coming. We're going to have some live music performances, a whole set of amazing panels, and then we've got these amazing artists all coming here. And, yeah,
So is there a different set of artists coming in tomorrow?
no, I mean all the artists that are here are amazing.
Oh.
And the people that are going to come tomorrow are just going to be.
Yeah,
At
so when
least
you
in my
said it,
opinion.
may sound like there's a whole new set of guests coming in too.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. So any last words you'd like to say to our audience before we sign off?
Welcome from El
Modesto.
Latinx Comics Arts Festival. Come on down, Modesto.
Thank you.
All right.